Hi, it's Kyle from Bitewing Games, and today we're learning how to play Switchbacks, designed by Susumu Kawasaki and published by AllPlay. In Switchbacks, you are creating hiking paths, placing elevation tiles and hikers on these paths. Paths that have at least 4 consecutive numbers will score. The others won't. The point of the game is to win, and you win by having the most points. You'll earn 1 point per hiker on a completed path. Let's take a look at the setup. And this is a prototype, so your version may look just slightly different than mine. Set up the board by connecting the 9 puzzle pieces. Each player selects a color. In a 4-player game, each player gets 8 hikers. In a 3-player game, each player gets 11 hikers. And in a 2-player game, each player gets 17 hikers. Players will spread their hikers out in front of them without stacking or placing them in groups. Shuffle the elevation tiles and place 1 tile face up in the center hex. Give each player 1 elevation tile. Each player will look at that tile, then discard it to their side. This discarded tile won't be used throughout the game, but it gives each player a little piece of information about something that isn't in the game. And you can always look at the tile later if you're like me and can't remember a single number for more than 2 minutes. Finally, deal each player 3 tiles as their starting hand. The player who most recently went hiking is the starting player. On your turn, you will lay a tile on an empty space on the board. There are no adjacency rules. Place the tile wherever you want. Next, you will either place a hiker on the elevation tile, or you will buddy up 2 single hikers, placing them next to each other in your supply. When placing hikers, you can either place a single hiker, or you can place a pair of hikers that you paired on a previous turn. And when placing hikers, you can only place hikers on the tile you just laid. So there's no placing hikers on tiles that have been previously laid. If you don't want to place a hiker, but you don't have 2 single hikers, you can't pair any hikers, so you'll have to place a hiker on the tile. To end your turn, draw back up to 3 tiles. The player to your left will take their turn, placing a tile, hiking or buddying up, and then drawing a tile. Turns will go around and around until all the tiles have been placed, at which point the game ends. At some point, the draw pile will run dry, so you just don't draw up to 3 to end your turn. Finally, move on to the endgame scoring. Find all the consecutive paths of 4 or more. Remove any hiker that is not on a path. Each player will score 1 point per hiker on the board. And the player with the most points wins. In case of a tie, the tied players share the victory. But the game's so quick, you probably ought to just play another round of the game. Well, now you know how to play Switchbacks. If you have any questions, let me know in the comments below. Until next time.